Thank you. So when Paulie came to me and said, Mel, do a talk about what gets women into tech, I was like, huh? What? And I kind of said to her, I think I'm the wrong speaker for this topic. I went home, I told my partner, and he said to me, man, they should have gotten somebody else to talk about this topic. And so that was the beginning of my research for this talk. It started with, why do I actually feel that I'm the wrong person to talk about this topic? Obviously, I'm a woman. I do work in tech. What's the problem? The problem is that I've always been very ignorant. I 100% admit that. So I've been extremely ignorant that there is a barrier to getting into tech. And so I had to reflect on that. What actually brought that up to begin with? And so it started off, I believe, I was 6, I got a microscope. Awesome. I got my first Cowboy and Indians Lego set. I was excited. Girls were silly. They cried a lot. I didn't like them. I played with boys. I wanted to be a boy. I was doing my level best to be a boy until when I turned 11, people wouldn't believe me anymore. But yeah, I really tried. I remember throwing a tantrum when I had to go to boarding school and my mom wanted to buy me lacy underwear. I hated it. I would not wear dresses. Nah, I was a boy at heart. So all my school education I spent in girls' schools, all girls' schools. I don't know what it is like to compete with guys. I just have no idea. Because you're in science class or maths class and you're together with girls and those are the girls that you compete with. They're either better than you or not better than you, but they're still the same gender. So I never got the sense of that it should be different, or maybe some people perceive it as different to be with somebody else, you know, and yeah, that there could be, you know, somebody perceiving guys as being better. It just wasn't on my agenda. So I guess when I fell into tech, I was very lucky. I got to play with $2 million systems at the age of 21, and I took that as for granted. I did notice that there were a lot of guys, but I didn't really take too much notice of that because, you know, I got the job, you didn't. So, you know, I just literally was very ignorant of the whole thing, the whole gender diversity or lack thereof, you know. So I just kind of like grew up in this very male-dominated industry without really noticing what was happening. At some stage, I moved to New Zealand. I was 31. And I was single, and I wanted to have a boyfriend, and I kept running into the same problem that Kiwi guys would tell me, I just can't handle you, you're too confident, you know, like I'm constantly competing with you. And it's like, what are you talking about? So my expat girlfriends and I one day had a chat. And somebody said to me, one of my girlfriends said to me, like, I tell you the secret, break shit. I said, what do you mean? It's like, Kiwi guys need to fix things. Break shit. It's like, are you serious? And it's like, yeah, try it out, man. So I went home, and I broke the towel rail. I'm like, honey, towel rail. Sorry, broke. Man, was he delighted. And I was like, oh my God, it works. This is incredible. So from that moment on, I became lazy. What do you mean, oil change on the car? You do it. Because in Germany, we do learn how to change tires and how to do our own oil change. In actual fact, we moved house so often when I was little, I got used to watching my mom disconnecting the lights, connecting the lights, connecting or disconnecting the washing machine, connecting the machine with the washing machine. So to me, it was normal. Girls did that sort of stuff. In actual fact, I grew up at 12 years old using our chainsaw. So, you know, to me, there was nothing strange about it. But when I came to New Zealand and I realized that guys needed to feel like men, you know, if they could kind of like fix stuff, that was their way of showing their love and relating, I became lazy. So I told my partner, who is very equal to me and, you know, handles me very well. And, you know, so I told them what I was going to talk about. here tonight, and what I had kind of like come up with so far. And he said to me, do you do that with me? And I said, no, I honestly don't. I've stopped doing it with you because I don't need to. You know, we're not competing in any shape or form. We're working on projects together. So we actually work together on game projects. And we've just completed a game project together where he did the audio and I did the game design and sorted out the programming. So we work very well together. But I did have to admit that I had become lazy because who's doing the car service? Him. So, you know, since then, kind of like didn't do myself a favor because he actually turned around and said, you know, like, so, you know, when you want to kind of like have this thing fixed, you know, who's going to fix it? You do it, you know, so I now have to do it myself. So the quintessence of what I'm telling you guys is these are moments where we're giving away power. We're actually disempowering ourselves. And this is both for female and male. What are those moments where you're disempowering yourself, where you're actually giving away the opportunity to learn, to grow, to get better at skills? And how often are you quite happy to say, no, you do it because you're better at it, you're the guy? Or vice versa, you're the guy and you're actually encouraging it and you get impatient, you go like, oh, give that to me. You know, so the better idea is to actually support each other and work with each other. And do that in a nice way, do that in a coaching way, in a supportive way, not in a bullying way, you know, where the person then kind of like feels discredited or has the feeling, you know, the confidence is actually not boosted, but it's going even lower. So when's the next opportunity where you realize you've given the power away and you're actually taking it back? And that, for me, is the first step in whether you're wanting to step into tech or into something else. It's taking charge of where you feel you're lacking confidence. That's me.